Sorry, what I meant to say was hi, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at Wife Swap, one of the very few reality shows that I vaguely remember watching with my family growing up. I'm sure you've heard of it. Two families with very contrasting backgrounds swap wives for 2 weeks, documenting how both families adapt to the new environment. It's just a feel-good program, you know, without any of the typical scripted, overdramatic nonsense.
You're a slut, you dress like a slut, you look like a slut.
It's so wholesome and, you know, heartwarming. There's something special about this specific episode I've picked, and it has to do with the infamous balloon boy hoax of 2009. I don't know if you guys remember that.
A homemade helium mylar balloon believed to be carrying a 6-year-old boy was racing out of control across the skies of Colorado.
This sparked a nationwide panic as National Guard helicopters and local police pursued the balloon for several hours, only to find out that it was completely empty. Well, it turns out 1 year before this took place, the very same family responsible appeared on this episode of Wife Swap, so buckle up for a real shit show.
This week, a family of storm chasers, the Heenes from Colorado. Mayumi and Richard pull their kids out of school in order to chase tornadoes. They head straight towards the storm with their kids in the car. Then Richard rides a motorbike into the center of the tornado to take readings for research.
Okay, so you're gonna find out that the Heene family, specifically this guy Richard, is an absolute maniac, and his job sounds like something a child would make up to impress his friends. His job is to ride motorcycles into tornadoes. My dad just has arthritis for a living.
And the safety-obsessed Martells of Connecticut. Cautious Karen and Jay are constantly worrying about the safety of their kids. Their boys, Max and Dean, are so scared of everyday life. They won't use the microwave because it will give them cancer, won't eat sushi because it will give them tapeworms, and won't go into the woods because a coyote might eat them.
You know, there's probably more interesting ways to film these intros than to just have the family smile awkwardly into the camera for several minutes. I mean, could you imagine what the raw footage looks like for this? We learn a little more about the Heene's obsession with storm chasing, which basically consumes their entire lives. However, because Richard can't fathom spending a single second on anything else, all of the housekeeping falls on his wife, Mayumi.
My nickname for Mayumi is Ninja Wife. It's like, she's fast, she's all over the place, man.
Is he allowed to say that?
Household domestics is just a maintenance chore. My brain doesn't think about maintenance. My brain's always thinking about things that nobody ever thought about.
Apparently, Richard is so intelligent that he's doing the world a disservice by wasting his precious brain power on trivial tasks like taking out the trash or wiping the mustard stain off his shirt because, you know, that's woman's work. Mayumi, Code Brown, Swamp Ass, bring me the washcloth.
I'm making a spaceship egg.
I'm very particular about how my eggs, I got the little ship attacking the mothership, and then I just go in and boom, crash.
See that? I bet nobody's ever thought to eat eggs that way. And, you know, he wouldn't be able to come up with that egg-based discovery if he was wasting his time, you know, hugging his children. Speaking of children, their kids, Rio, Bradford, and Falcon. Yes, his name is Falcon, like the bird, in case you thought I was talking about Captain Falcon, the reason why I have fucking analog stick marks on the bottom of my desk. Where was I? What was I talking about? The kids live a pretty exciting and adventurous life with practically no safeguards. They're one of those families that refuses to discipline their kids because they think that's too negative. That's always good. You don't want to be a downer, right? Like, I raised my dogs the same way. Oh, good boy, Baxter. He's so friendly, isn't he?
Die, United States! Die! Okay, they're all dead.
Okay, this Falcon kid's actually kind of based. That's actually fucking awesome. I take it all back. Now we meet the other family, the Martells, who are the polar opposite of the Heenes, and by that I mean they are so overly cautious about safety that their kids, Max and Dean, look like the souls have been sucked out of them by a fucking specter. It's really sad.
We use certain kinds of sunscreen on them because there are certain types that have chemicals that absorb into your body.
We're not allowed to have handheld video games because we'll be looking at it and then we'll walk right into the street and get hit by a car.
I don't like sushi because it could give you tapeworms.
It just goes on and on, dude. It's insane. Like, we're talking regularly scheduled fire drills.
This keeps cars from coming in the driveway when our kids are playing.
Why did you go all the way up to where you know you're not supposed to go?
I'm only allowed to play in the woods with my mom or dad.
There are coyotes.
So although the Martells are way too strict, everyone is generally more responsible, and Jay, the husband, is much more respectful of his wife's time. Now it's the first day of the swap, where the wives see their new home for the first time before getting to read through a manual they've provided that explains how the house is typically run. It's very clear which wife is gonna have the bigger challenge here.
Richard isn't bound by the rules of academia or conventional thought. He is a free thinker with theories about weather, time travel. This guy is like a cult leader.
While Jay gives Mayumi a tour tour and explains all their countless rules, Karen sits down with the Heenes and oh my god, it's chaotic as shit. Rio is jamming pepperonis into his eye. Falcon starts eating loose change. Falcon based as usual. Mayumi helps Jay at his job where he baby-proofs people's houses because of course he does.
I felt those cages are limiting kids. I put the cage for dog, not for my kids. I feel like you are putting more like a fear.
Mayumi has a tough time understanding the concept of safety gates for children because apparently she would rather just football spiral her baby into a natural disaster. Meanwhile,
And then we'll talk about the plan.
Pants. I need pants.
Boy, nobody seems to know anything around here except for Mom. Here you are, Your Majesty.
for the first week, the wives aren't allowed to change how the families operate, so Karen just has to suffer through Richard's manic behavior.
Not on the toast, because you're attacking my mothership. You take the little spaceship, he goes in for the attack.
It's hilarious.
I'm eating breakfast with a 3-year-old.
My wife giggles and still laughs at everything I say. Grown men like a younger woman because of that. What happens to a woman after, say, 25? I mean, it's all downhill mentally from there.
Imagine being told you're old and declining mentally by a man who role plays with his eggs.
If laundry's on my mind, it's sucking up time on
Well,
my
nothing's
clock.
on your mind. Everything is on Mayumi's mind.
So you want to take control by walking away?
Exactly.
Is that it? Because you can't mentally compete with me, so you walk away.
While Karen's feeble, decaying brain fails to compete with Richard's alpha debate skills, Mayumi gets to supervise a legendary Martells family playtime.
Dean's ramp. Are you ready to fly?
Yeah.
Don't go too fast. Okay, watch out for pebbles. All right, that's it. Let's wrap it up.
Whoa, okay there, Dean. You're getting a little bit wild out there, okay? Let's get you in the power shower and burn off any loose bacteria on your skin.
Max and Dean have too much fear for that age. That scares me.
Meanwhile, Karen and the family have to rush out of the house to catch a storm.
This is taking way too long. We need to be more
That's
prepared
because your
than this.
servant's not here.
The camera's not here.
How would you lose it?
You're in charge of this stuff. You gotta pay attention.
I know storm chasing is like a thing, but the more I watch this man do his job, the more made up it looks. Is there even a storm out? It looks like a pretty nice day out to me.
This life sucks.
Karen just nags like nonstop. She's always got something to say. We gotta get going. Let's go.
You want me to pick this up now?
Mayumi would do it.
So Richard and Karen fail to do whatever the fuck this was supposed to be, and things get a little tense between them back at home.
Mayumi doesn't jackhammer me. She doesn't go. And I really, really don't want to hear that. Here you go. Here's how I handle this. Hey, baby, come on in and get my jackhammer.
Did he just improv a song mid-argument? Maybe this guy is a genius, because if someone did that to me, I wouldn't even know how to respond. Like, he would have won that instantly.
You're moaning, you're groaning all day long, and I don't want to hear it. She went for the juggler. You don't do that after a hard day's work.
Oh no, yeah, Karen definitely went overboard, man. Like, you were being so level-headed and just like well-spoken. That's crazy. She's so immature. Back at the Martells, Mayumi tries to convince Jay that his kids are miserable, and it's going really well.
Dean wants to be free. He wants to go off.
And if he goes off into the road, we don't want him to die.
But now that it's week 2, it's time for both wives to create a new set of rules that the families will have to follow for the final week. Mayumi announces that their lives are going to be much more focused around fun, meaning that they are now allowed to play in the woods and bike as far as they want.
All I hear around here is no! You can't use those words anymore. If you do, I'm going to put you in the cage.
Over at the Heenes, however, storm chasing is now banned. Richard is in charge of all the chores, the house needs to be made safer, and the children need to, learn better manners.
Let's get started.
All right, you guys ready?
This rule.
I think I'm done.
So fucking based, Falcon! Please start a podcast. Back at the Martells, Max and Dean start hooting and hollering, goofing it up silly style, just getting absolutely fucking giggled to the gills like you've never seen.
No.
You said no.
Dad, go to the cage.
Oh, you go to the cage.
Richard is forced to box up all his storm chasing gear and make the house safer, but he keeps finding ways to piss Karen off instead.
This is a VLF receiver. It tests radio frequencies, and I don't want my brain to get fried. The snow's dangerous, I can't get near it.
It becomes clear very soon that Richard doesn't actually know how to do anything around the house, even when it comes down to just making the kids a simple school lunch.
We have to get the kids lunch.
Why is everything so combative? I don't operate like this.
You operate like you're the leader and I'm the follower.
I got a great idea here. And this will be your bitch meter.
See, nobody's ever thought to invent a bitch meter before. He shouldn't be making school lunches. That's incredible technology.
You are extremely disrespectful.
Are you gonna do the hand thing? Oh, no, you didn't.
Jesus Christ, man. This guy is like a whirlwind of a human being.
Mayumi's still endeavoring to give the Martells a taste of her life of excitement and adventure.
We have to catch it to get the surprise.
Never, ever try to catch a descending rocket.
Or a meteor.
Agent 47 over here can't sit tight for 5 seconds without chiming in with safety tips, which causes a fight back home with Mayumi.
You dumb. You're still talking about the safety.
I understand that you are
You're
here.
not.
Is it normal on Wife Swap for absolutely zero progress to be made between the couples? This show is so much more chaotic than I remember. Back at the Heenes, Richard is so brain broken without storm chasing that he can't even do the dishes without making soap clouds and rambling about the weather.
This is the way cumulus clouds work in a supercell.
There's no weather.
All I
I
want to
am
do is
not
have an
your
intelligent
servant.
conversation with you.
And he's doing the jackhammer again. Cool.
I'm gonna go buy a dictionary. I'll bet you it's got your friggin' picture all throughout the end section. You know.
Why don't you do
how about
that?
gag, nag, sag? There we go. Over 25, sag.
Another mental checkmate by Richard, this time using a really convoluted burn, but we'll take it. Mayumi decides to film Max and Dean listing off all their irrational fears to show Jay just how many negative thoughts they have.
Hurting myself. To fall off my bike. Lots of lightning. To fall down the stairs.
Fucking jib jabs, man.
House getting on fire. To go in the woods by myself. Lava lamp exploding.
Nobody moves like that, man. I'm gonna be sick. She shows the video to Jay, who somehow can't see anything wrong with, you know, how afraid of the world his kids are. In fact, he looks so proud. It's odd.
Yeah, I liked it.
That's all you can say?
I have my own opinions of what we think are right and wrong. And you walking into my house with your own opinions, which I think are warped.
I'm talking from my heart.
Karen tries to bring in one of Richard's female friends to help mediate a discussion between them, which lasts for a solid, clean 30 seconds.
I'll say something and then another guy will say the same thing and you'll take it from him, but you don't take it from me.
I really sense that I'm being attacked. Richard! You're not allowing me to speak. You're not allowing me to speak. Barb, seriously? I want you to leave.
Guess what? Now you're getting a bitch meter, Barb, okay? So how about that? Oh, sorry, give me a sec. Okay, hold on. I swear to God, it was just fucking here. Oh wait, this one I'm really proud of actually. Hold on, like look at this one. Check out the shading on the scrotum. Out of nowhere, Richard has a change of heart and decides to make an effort to work it out with Karen. And later on, they actually get the kids to do chores and even improve their manners. It's really funny to see Richard have an epiphany over the simple concept of splitting responsibilities.
If I drop my ego, I can break through, then my family benefits. Can you imagine now? Mayumi is not gonna have to wash the dishes, then cook. Mayumi is the one who really gets this thing off her back.
So you're saying if I do the dishes, my wife isn't gonna have to do the dishes? At the Martells, Jay is suddenly convinced to let the boys play in the forest by themselves and wants to stop keeping them in a bubble. It sort of just happens out of nowhere. Meanwhile, Richard finds a new reason to be pissed off. This time it's because Karen bought new helmets for the kids, not knowing that they already had some.
The fact is, we got helmets, and for you to go out and buy brand new ones, I mean, I'm a damn good father, and I'm getting pissed off that this is making me look like I'm pissed!
I love that he says that while he's throwing directly at his child. That's good parenting. Karen gets fed up with all the random outbursts and decides to stay in a hotel for the rest of the week. At the end of week 2, the wives say goodbye to the kids and prepare to reunite with their original families. Then there's a meeting between the two couples where they discuss their experience and what they learned.
As soon as any woman asks Richard to take some responsibility, you're gonna get yelling and screaming, and it was painful.
I don't see anything wrong with it.
Great, awesome. Okay, so 0 lessons. Perfect.
I just thought, God, Karen had such an impact on me that I wrote you a song.
No, you don't have to do that.
I wanna tell you how much you mean to me.
Well, that's about it. The Martells learn to stop hovering over their kids, and the Heenes learn to help out around the house more. And they all lived happily ever after, except for Richard and Mayumi, who went to jail a year later for lying about putting their child in a balloon. So... wife swap. Thanks for watching the video. If you like this video and want to check out more, I would recommend you watch my Kickboxing Academy video because it's easily the hardest I've worked on a video before. It's got sketches, musical numbers, and a view count that makes me want to, you know, I'm just playing around. I'm just joking. Being silly. I'm just being silly. All right, see ya.